Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lily Pinedo Oquianca, and I serve as the program director of the Chicanx Latinx Student Success Center. And we are so excited that you could join us this afternoon to learn more about the Latinos in Technology Scholarship that's offered through the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley. And it's my pleasure to introduce you this afternoon to our presenter, who's Melissa Canela, who will be telling you a little bit more in detail about the scholarship, but also the process for how to apply, the benefits of the scholarship, and then also, of course, share a little bit more background history about the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley. We also have a special guest, which is our student success leader, Steven Gallagher, who has been a recipient of the Latinos in Technology Scholarship. And so he's going to be able to share with us a little bit more about his experience being a recipient and the benefits of receiving the scholarship. So I'd like to turn it over to Melissa, if you could share a little bit more about you and more about the scholarship, and I'll let you take it away.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Lily. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Melissa. I am the Education Programs Manager at the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley, which essentially means that I run our College Success Center, which includes our Latinos in Technology Scholarship Program Initiative, which is what I'm here to talk about to all of you today. And moving forward, I am going to refer to it as LITSI because, as you can tell, it's a little bit of a mouthful. So, we are going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, let's see here. All right, can everyone see the Latinos in Tech workshop? Wonderful. So, my goal for today is to share with you all a little bit more about our organization and what we do at Hispanic Foundation. I, of course, will speak a little bit about our Latinos in Technology Scholarship, who our scholars are, what STEM majors qualify, and all of that nitty gritty of eligibility and requirements. As Lily mentioned, we have an awesome LITSI scholarship recipient with us today. So Stephen will be sharing his experience as well as a LITSI scholar. And we're going to go ahead and end by doing a demo of how to actually apply for the scholarship. I'm going to show you all what the application looks like online, and we'll do any Q&As at the end. Do I have any questions so far? And if at any point when I'm talking about something, you have a question, feel free to turn on your microphone and just share, or put a question in the chat. Oh yeah, I see Lily went ahead and did that. Thank you. Now, since we have a smaller group, I would love if I know Israel said he is a junior at San Jose State now in mechanical engineering. Cassandra, I would love if you would like to share your major and year at San Jose State.
Yeah, this is my first year as a transfer, so I guess I'm technically like a junior.
Wonderful.
My major is computer engineering.
Awesome. And what school did you transfer from?
I went to both Gavilan and Evergreen.
That's great. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start off by telling you all a little bit about the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley. At HFSV, our mission is really dedicated to inspiring community philanthropy and engaging other people in the community in order to invest in the education, leadership development, and engagement component with our Hispanic community. Not only to help improve the quality of life for Latinos in Silicon Valley, but also the greater area. Now, I want to touch a little bit more specifically on our College Success Center. So, our College Success Center really encapsulates all of the programs that we aim to serve for our Latinx community within Santa Clara County as well as San Mateo County. And when we're looking at Santa Clara County, it's mostly in East San Jose, because that is where we have a major Latinx community, myself included. I'm actually born and raised in East San Jose, and I'm first generation as well. So programs like these really sort of hit home and hit a very personal string for me, which only makes me more excited to be here to share with all of you what we do. So our College Success Center provides high quality STEM education programs for Latinx students and families in Santa Clara County and San Mateo County. We have served a little bit over 5,000 families to date through our College Success Center. And our overarching goals, our big, like 10,000 feet view of what we aim to achieve is to help increase the number of Latinx college graduates in STEM, as well as help increase the number of Latinx professionals in the STEM field. Hence, our Latinos in Technology scholarship. The goal of our scholarship is sort of twofold. One, of course, to provide financial support to Latinx students to help facilitate college graduation. And also, we want to continue building a pipeline of professional development support that will help you all become Latinx professionals in the area of STEM. As you all know, Latinos make up a huge portion of our community here in Silicon Valley. However, when you look at the number of Latinx professionals in STEM or in tech overall, we are the most underrepresented group. So, how is that possible when we're living in the birth of technology? So, that's really what we guide ourselves with. So, going more specifically into what our scholarship does, we provide up to $10,000 for up to 3 years. If you are a student and your tuition, for example, is $30,000, and based on your FAFSA or your California Dream Act application, you have $25,000 in aid, we would provide the $5,000 that remain, meaning we are a gap scholarship. So we will aim to fill that need, that gap that you still have when paying your tuition and your school expenses. And I say up to 3 years, meaning that our scholarship qualifies for incoming juniors, and I'll get a little bit more into the nitty gritty in a moment. Incoming juniors or current juniors and seniors. We include the 3rd year because you're thinking, okay, well, if you're a junior and then senior year, that's only 2 years. However, we acknowledge that sometimes some STEM programs take 5 years where there's a program with an additional 5th year, or sometimes life happens, something happens, and our students sometimes take a little bit longer than the traditional 4 years to graduate. So that would make our scholars eligible for up to 3 years to receive our scholarship. In addition to that, we provide all of our LITSI scholars, as we call them, with an array of professional development programs and opportunities. More specifically, we provide different workshops that will help you all develop your skills in how to become young professionals, do informational interviews, and we do so through our Career Launch Academy program, as well as our Conexiones mentorship program, where we work to match our LITSI scholars up with other Latinx professionals in the field of STEM so that you all can have somebody to talk to about, hey, I'm a mechanical engineering major. I really want to make this a career in the future. How can I do that? How can I have an informational interview with someone in the field? Or how can I improve my resume or my LinkedIn profile to make myself more competitive as I go through my academic career and get ready for my professional career pathway to begin? In addition to that, we also work to connect all of our LITSI scholars with different summer internship opportunities, and we do so through our partnerships with corporate tech companies that are our funders or that want to collaborate with us. Do I have any questions so far? I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you all at once. Okay. Now, I want to go over what our impact has looked like. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stop sharing to share our, give me 1 second, annual report. Can you all see that? Okay, wonderful. So let me scroll up to the top and do full view. There we go. So what has our impact looked like in our Latinos in Technology Scholarship Program? What you are seeing here is our 2020 LITSI annual report. So as of December 2020, we have awarded 399 scholarships, meaning 399 different Latinx scholars in STEM have received our scholarship. 81% of them are first generation college students. And we're really proud to say that 41% of our LITSI scholars are Latinas in STEM, and we continue working every day to increase that number. These are some of our scholars. Now, let's look at our class profile. This is a really common question that we get. What schools are represented and what majors are represented within our LITSI program? As you can see here, San Jose State is repped really hard in our LITSI program, which makes a lot of sense because San Jose State is directly in our area. So we're really proud to say that SJSU has our highest number of LITSI scholars. But you can see here on the bottom of the page, there are many other institutions that are represented. We have students from UC Irvine, St. Mary's, Duke, Carnegie Mellon, all over the country. So far we have 45 different colleges and universities overall and counting represented by LITSI scholars. Now, here's the most popular question. What majors qualify as being a part of the LITSI program? The majors you see in the top half of the screen are our most popular majors, but that's not to say that these are the only ones that qualify. So here I saw Israel got really excited. Yes, mechanical engineering is our most popular major, followed closely by computer science, civil engineering, and biology. However, as you all know, STEM is pretty varied. There's a wide range in STEM. And here at the bottom, you can see other majors that and programs that our scholars participate in: physics, plant scientists, human biology, cellular and molecular biology, astrophysics, marine biology, materials engineering, IT and cybersecurity, software engineering, computer science. I mean, the list goes on and on. So if you all or any other peers that you might have that you think would qualify for the scholarship, let them know that there's a lot of variance. And if your major or your program is recognized at your institution at San Jose State as being a part of the STEM sort of department, the colleges of sciences and things like that, then it would qualify as being an approved STEM major with us. Here's a list of just a couple of our investors and sponsors. Again, it's very varied through tech. You see Intel, it's a huge supporter of ours, KLA, Lam Research, Google, and of course our partners, Silicon Valley Community Foundation. They are the ones that handle the logistics and specifics when it comes to your scholarship application and all of that nitty gritty, which I will get into in just a moment. So what I want to do now is stop my sharing so I can give Stephen an opportunity to share a little bit about who he is, what he's doing now. Stephen, if you could share your major, what your experience has been like as a LITSI scholar and scholarship recipient, and any advice that you would give to other potential LITSI scholars that are interested in applying with us.
Thank you for the introduction, Melissa. Like she said, my name is Steven Gallagher, and I also transferred into San Jose State. I was able to get my scholarship I was accepted the year that I was about to transfer. And so now I'm at San Jose State, aerospace engineering, and I'm just finishing up my second year there, and I'm about to enter my senior year. So I'm very excited about that too. And the main thing, or just in general, with like when students hear the word scholarship, it may seem like it's a daunting task, or it may seem like it's a very, very like unachievable task. But one thing that I really appreciated with the Litzy Scholar was all the help that the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation was able to provide for me. Case in point, one of the deadlines I had accidentally gone over one of the deadlines for submitting an application, and the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation took it, no questions asked. They were very understanding that, some students, students are still in school, they're still doing all of that, studying, preparing for midterms. And so they were very understanding of me submitting my application late. And so one of my best advices for future applicants is to just try, try to even apply for the scholarship. So many times like students believe that they're not even going to be able to meet any of the requirements of the scholarship, or they'll say, like, I never heard of anybody getting a scholarship, or like, it's so rare to get a scholarship. Like, if you don't try it, like you're making yourself, you're not even putting yourself in a position where you can get it. And so, one of the best things I'd say too is like, there may be many requirements of a scholarship. It's like always try to like break it down. You don't have to you don't have to get all your paperwork in one day. You don't have to get all your paperwork in 1 week. You can get it piece by piece, week by week, and then slowly like what you can meet the deadlines that you're gonna read the deadline for the scholarship. And my personal experience with the scholarship it's been great, honestly. It's the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation is really it's been the most supportive organization for me in my college academic career. They helped with my tuition, obviously with the scholarship, and like Melissa said earlier, they do have that third-year option for STEM majors, and that's exactly what I'm going to exercise, because my major, I did have to take a little extra classes here and there, but the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation anticipated that, and they're able to provide that, no questions asked. And not only that, their networking, or the events and programs that they set up for you to network and to really build up your professional profile is, I would say it's bar none. Like they invite you to so many events, so many resume building workshops, network building, even like, and they even understand, it's like, oh, sometimes, students may need a little break. They still look for events. I forgot, it was into last year or 2 years ago, I went to a San Jose earthquake games with other like past applicants and future applicants. So that was really cool. Another great event where I got to network with some of the recipients who are like all over California.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to say, like, I'm very thankful for this scholarship, very thankful for this organization. And honestly, just the scholarship process, it may seem like it's kind of scary. It may seem like it's undoable, but it's really not, and you are going to have people to support you. I reached out, where I was confused on some of the paperwork or some of the documents that were required. I reached out to the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation, and they were able to reach back to me quickly and really help me through the process as well.
Thank you, Stephen. You made various really important and valid points. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to really go for it. This has been a common theme as I've spoken to other scholars where they say, well, I've never done this before. I don't know anyone that has done scholarships. And that's because, quite frankly, in our community, it's not that normalized yet to say, I need to apply for a scholarship. It's kind of like, oh, there's scholarships there. Maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I won't. It's optional. Who's going to know if I don't do it? But Steven said this, you guarantee your rejection if you don't apply. Always go for it. Do not hesitate to quote unquote brag about yourself and your achievements and what you've done. If you say, hey, there's one thing here that I don't really know if I qualify, still go for it, because there are so many other amazing things that all of you bring to the table, it's important for you all to give yourselves that. Do not be afraid to take up space and say, I'm just going to go for it. Because regardless, it's a really important learning experience. We need to normalize applying for scholarships, taking that money. That's what it's here for. It's here to be used and taken for your education and for your future endeavors and growth, personally and professionally as well. So thank you, Stephen, for that very valuable insight. I'm going to now transition into, I have two monitors. Are you all seeing our demo QR code? Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. So feel free to scan this if you want to. I will put our link in the chat as well if you want to sort of follow along and look at it, but I'll be sharing my screen so you all can see what it looks like. This is our application link, and the most important thing, probably, please make a note, our scholarship is due on March 19th. But I recommend that you tell yourselves that it's due on like March 10th to give yourself a little cushion. Do not wait last minute, please. And do not wait last minute just in general. I know it happens. I'm a student myself, so I know, what you all are thinking. It happens. But there are some elements in our scholarship application that the sooner you do it, the better and the easier it'll be for all of you. So let me stop sharing my screen again so I can share our scholarship application. Wonderful. Can you all see this screen now? Great. So this is what our scholarship application looks like. As I mentioned earlier, the Silicon Valley Community Foundation are the ones that go through the logistics and ins and outs of actually processing all of your applications. And then we go through with them to make our selection. So I'm going to walk you through what eligibility looks like, what we ask for when applying to our scholarships, as well as actually log in to what the portal actually looks like, so you all have sort of a clearer idea. As I said, we provide up to $30,000 paid over 3 years, given that you all continue to be eligible and you continue to be in school. When we get sort of in the more nitty gritty, we've already touched on some of this, right? You must be of Latinx or Hispanic identifying descent and have a declared major or be a part of a STEM program at your institution. I mentioned this previously. Students entering their junior or senior year at a four-year university in this next upcoming school year are eligible to apply. Meaning, for example, if you have friends or you know someone that is at community college right now, but will be transferring to San Jose State or any other four-year university in the next school year, they are also eligible. So you could be an incoming junior, you can be a current junior, and you could be a senior as well if in the next school year you will still be in school. Does that make sense? I know that could be a little bit sort of confusing. So if in the next academic school year, meaning 2021-22, you will still be at San Jose State in this case, you'll be a junior, senior, or a fifth year, then you would qualify. Now, we ask that our scholar applicants be either graduates of a high school in one of these Northern California counties, or you could be from somewhere else, but if you're enrolled at a university that falls within these counties, you are also eligible. So for example, you could be from Los Angeles, for example, but you're enrolled here at San Jose State, so you would qualify. The counties that we look at are really the ones surrounding here in the Bay Area and a little bit up north. So we're Santa Clara County, of course, San Mateo, Santa Cruz, Alameda, Contra Costa, Marin, Napa, San Francisco, and Yolo County. We do ask that students have a cumulative GPA average of 3.0, as well as have a demonstrated financial need, which we look at through a submitted FAFSA application or a California DREAM Act application. With that being said, that means that students who are eligible are students who were born here in the United States or that are DACA recipients, and also AB 540 students are eligible as well. Lily, you had a question?
Yes, thank you, Melissa. Another point of clarification question for you is around the eligibility around where folks live. So would the same be true for folks who graduated from a high school in one of the counties, but is enrolled at a university outside of the county? So if they're enrolled at San Diego State, for example.
That's a great question. And yes, if they, for example, my sister, she graduated here from San Jose High in San Jose, but she went to UCSD. So if she would have been a STEM major, then she still would have qualified.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that question. Any other questions so far? All right, I'll keep going. So as I mentioned, students can either be born here or be DACA recipients, or AB 540 students as well are eligible. Now, what do you need to submit? What are the documents that we require? Number one, we will ask you to submit a personal statement, which you all are very familiar with at this point, that answers one of these 4 different prompts. And really, this is the place where you want to be very clear and emphasize either why you want to be a Latino scholar, what you've done in your community, why you are a Latinx in STEM. So this is where you can really personalize and make clear who you are and why you want to be a Latino scholar. As I mentioned previously, you will need to upload documents related to your financial need. So again, if you complete a FAFSA application, that would be something you would need to upload. Or you can upload a California DREAM Act application as well. And when you actually go here on the links, you could see these are all live. So they provide more details and specifics on those. Last couple of things that we ask for students to submit are unofficial or official transcripts. But if you can, do unofficial because we don't want you to have to pay and go through that whole other process. So if you'll be mailing a hard copy, or depending what you're doing, there's instructions here of where to mail and send. We will also look at your high school transcripts in addition to your college transcripts, which again, unofficial is acceptable, and that's a lot easier to obtain. Lastly, and this is probably the most time sensitive part, is the letter of reference, okay? We ask that you provide a letter of reference written by a college professor that you've had in a STEM class. Maybe it's your advisor, that would be really great, or a professor that you really liked or worked with in one of your STEM classes. Those would be really great people to write you this letter. It has to be on official school letterhead, that you don't really need to worry about. I think professors, they have that all figured out. And here is something really, really important. It is your responsibility to ensure that your letter of reference and everything else is submitted on time. One thing that I would suggest is after this session, if you decide I'm going to apply, or maybe you already started applying, email your professor right away and give them a deadline a little bit before actually the 19th. So maybe like the 16th or the 15th, and let them know that it's due by that day. Because if you do it now, then you can check in with them and give them a little nudge. Hi, I just wanted to check in um, on the status of my letter. So you also give them appropriate time, but so you can make sure that it's on time. I see we have a couple of questions. Yes, Lily?
For the letter recommendation from a professor, for our transfer students who just started at San Jose State, this might be a common question if they have
Mhm.
not had an opportunity to really get to know their STEM professors because they just started. Can
Mhm.
they submit a letter of rec from a professor from their community colleges or college advisors from the community college?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another really great question. It doesn't matter if they're a professor here at San Jose State or at Canada or Gavilan or any other community college that you were previously at. So what I will do now is log into the portal so you could see what it actually looks like. So once you click apply, it'll prompt you to sort of create a profile. So you'll provide demographics, who you are, your name, all of that good stuff. And this is what the portal actually looks like. So again, we do our scholarship through the Silicon Valley Community Foundation. We are not the only scholarship that is collaborating with them. So when you create your profile and you log into your portal like this, there will actually be an array of other scholarship opportunities that, at a glance, based on your initial profile, will pop up for basic eligibility. So feel free to take advantage of that. You could see here, you're ineligible, this one closed, this one closed, this one you can apply, Within this list, here is where we are, Latinos in Technology Scholarship. You can click on details and it'll provide what we just talked about. And then you see here the apply button. So once you click that, again, it'll give you a description of eligibility, what the scholarship does, and then it'll get going into the nitty gritty. I am of Latinx descent. Yes. I have a declared major in a STEM program. Yes. I am a current college student entering junior or senior year. Yes. I am a graduate from one of these counties. Yes. And you'll just go forward. And as you answer those questions, it'll prompt you to all of the other spots. Upload your personal statement. Upload your FAFSA or California Dream Act application documents. Upload this and this. So again, the sooner you do it, the better. And you can save, and if you have to stop, right, work on it a little bit, save it, stop, and then come back. But again, the sooner you work on it, the better. And the easier it'll be for you, because once you get closer to the deadline, you're like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm already almost done, or I already did it. Any other questions, clarifications, comments?
Melissa, for the GPA requirement,
Yes.
so I know it says all college GPA, cumulative GPA. Now for San Jose State, students tend to have two GPAs. They'll have their SJSU cumulative GPA, and they also
Mhm.
have what's called an all college GPA that takes into account courses that they've taken at, let's say, their community college.
Mhm.
So which GPA would they be using for eligibility?
That's a great question. Um, I'm actually not 100% sure. Um, I would say that probably the overall, given that we do look at students who are transfers. However, that also brings me to my next point. If, after this workshop, you start working on it on your application and you have other questions, this is the email that you want to send all of your questions to. They will answer your questions within 48 hours. And I have it here on my. Give me 1 second. I keep toggling my screens. Okay. second. Okay. So here's where you want to direct all of your scholarship questions. No matter how minor or how grand you think your question is, email scholarships@siliconvalleycf.org. They will clarify any points that you have. And I'm also including my email here. If you have any other questions, you want to follow up with me, whatever it is, I'm available here. Please feel free to reach out to us. Other questions, please take advantage. I am here to make sure that after this workshop, you all feel really clear about our scholarship so that you can all apply, and hopefully we'll see all of your names on our list in the end of March. All right, if there are no more questions, the other thing that I would like to do is invite you all to follow us on our social media accounts. We will be posting updates, not just about our Litzy Scholarship, but of other workshops and programs that we have for our Latinx students and families as well. We also have just general community events that have to do with our Latinx community, such as our Latinx speaker series or our scholar chat. So please feel free to follow us on our social medias. We're very active. All right, with that being said, I can stick around for a couple of minutes and see if students have any other questions, but I want to just really again emphasize how you all just need to go for it and apply. It's a huge, huge help, not just because I'm here talking about the scholarship and because it's my program, but I can tell you that as a student myself, as a first gen student, one of the main reasons I got through college and actually was able to pay for it was because of all the scholarships that I applied for. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's very rewarding in the future for all of you, not just for school, for academics, but for your professional endeavors as well. So thank you, and thank you to Lily for having me. We will be in touch, and again, please reach out to us with any questions that you have.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for this wonderful presentation. It was very informative. And yes, we can't stress enough the importance of phasing the workout for your application. So having, I would say for right now, is if you haven't already done so, like skim through all the pieces and all the paperwork that you're going to need to submit, and then work backwards, right? Start with the deadline date, or as Melissa suggested, pretend that the deadline is a lot sooner than it actually is.
Yep.
And then start phasing it out in pieces so that it doesn't feel overwhelming for you, especially with the piece on asking for letters of recommendation, because your recommenders definitely need the time to write you a strong letter of recommendation. So not just any letter of rec, but really be able to emphasize, can you write me a strong letter of recommendation that's going to help me stand out from the rest of the crowd? So definitely phase out your work. And if you need any additional support, there's the great contact information here. Hopefully when we are able to come back together in person, one thing that we do in collaboration with the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley is we'll put on a dinner to recognize all of our San Jose State recipients who've received the scholarship. And it's a great way to not only recognize you, but also, as Stephen mentioned, the networking piece is really crucial and important. So thank you again, Melissa. So that concludes our presentation for today. And I'm gonna stop the recording here, but if anybody wants to stick around and ask